What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders Awakened on the PS4. So, been getting lots of questions about these fusion armor sets and what set to put together first. Now, of course, in the current state of the game, this is all targeted farming. The whole fusion armor, rift mode, where things drop, etc. is all subject to change in the future. If you want to read the full article from Chromatic about what these changes will be, they didn't really tell you what they're going to be, just that there's going to be changes to design based off of polling. I will put a link to that forum post down in the description below. But so where do you start? What is the best defense to get a fusion set up for first? Well, really, there's no wrong answer there. The best defense is going to be the main damaging defense that you'd like to use. Now, what would be kind of the meta defenses as far as first-time go-tos? Well, it would without a doubt be the Wisps from the Dryad, or from the Warden, pardon me. The Wisps are extremely powerful and will get you through all of Rifted Mode Survival, all the way through to the very last map. Now, when you get around to doing the keep on Survival Rifted Mode, you're going to struggle a little bit only having your Wisps in the mix. However, they will easily clear every other map in the entire game on Survival Massacre Hardcore Rifted just by using the Wisps and some crowd control. Another really good go-to defense would be the Deadly Striker Tower from The Apprentice. Same thing there, the DST is going to get you through the entire game. You see I don't have my DSTs squared away right at the moment. However, the DSTs will get you through all of the content, all the way up until you get to the keep. And then once you get to the keep, you're going to struggle a little bit if DSTs are your only fusion defense. So what do you do? What do you go with? Now, my personal suggestion and the route I took to blast through all the content super fast was to go with Fusion Wisps. Although they're not entirely effective, and don't get me wrong, you can get a keep win with only Fusion Wisps, but it is going to be super sweaty if you're just starting out and that is the only fusion set you have. So it is possible, but you're going to be fighting the system really hard if you're just using the Wisps. However, with that in mind, it did literally clear everything else. So with the ability to clear everything else, I was easily able to put together other sets to complete a fully rounded out keep build that would wreck all the faces. Now, what else would be the next go-to defense? Well, I mean, it would be, in my opinion, what is the most powerful defense in the game, and that is the Sludge Launcher from the Warden. The Sludge Launcher is just an absolute beast. It hits like a crazy truck, does an enormous amount of damage, and it splashes. So you get these boost and buffed, and they are just going to be lane clearing hotness. Now, why wouldn't you just go with Sludge right off the bat? Well, you can go with Sludge right off the bat, but it is not perfect for every map, where the Wisp and the DST doesn't worry about line of sight. The Sludge Launcher will, so if you don't have straight lanes and clear shots on enemies, the Sludge Launcher is not going to get the job done for you. However, in that keep situation, if you add the Sludge Launcher to your Wisps, you're going to turn into a real powerhouse. Now, what about crowd control? Now, obviously, when you're just getting set up, the very first fusion defense you're going to want to go for is a damaging defense. That way you can get that additional damage on these rifted enemies since they are healthier. What do you do with CC then? Well, I mean, for CC, there's two main functions that you can do without having a fusion set all squared away. The very first one, of course, is the gas trap. The gas trap is just a huge staple in the game. You know, the gas trap is the way. Now, let's just assume for a second that my poison gas trap here is not fused. Then it is going to be doing poison damage, meaning any enemy that is immune to poison damage is just going to roll right on through. So what do you do in that situation? Well, you've got to combine and use multiple elements. So using multiple elements, one of the go-to things would be a shock beam. Now, the deal with the shock beam is it is lightning damage. So you've now got poison damage and you've got lightning damage. So if an enemy comes down the lane that's immune to poison, it's still going to get stunned by the shock beam. If you have something that is immune to lightning, it's still going to get stunned by the poison. Now, shock beams have very, very low health, and they do burn super fast, so you're always going to want to place these farther back in your lane more as a last resort than as an upfront crowd control. Now, crowd control, in my opinion, is the second defense everyone should get dialed in. So very first thing, a damaging defense. I suggest DSTs or Wisps. Second thing, some crowd control. I personally went with the gas trap. One of the things that made the gas trap easy to farm up is it is a fusion set, or it is a guard set, pardon me. It's the second defense. Well, I went with Wisps as my first one, which, sure enough, it is a second defense as well. So in farming my Wisp set, obviously I didn't get the perfect gear on the first try, so I ended up having lots of guard gear laying around. Well, the gas trap isn't so sensitive to all the stats as a damaging defense would be, so I was able to put together one of those subpar sets and put them onto my gas traps to give me a second fusion element in my build. Now, this was just game-changing and makes a huge difference. Now, I can't leave out the Beaming Blossom. One thing to be said about the Warden is the Wisps, the Beaming Blossom, and the Sludge Launcher are three of the most powerful defenses in the game. So you've got one hero with three of the most powerful defenses in the game, meaning you just got a beast here. So if you're not a fan of the Warden, it's a shame. It really is, because the Warden is just maddening crazy good. Additionally, the Beaming Blossom, without question, has the coolest attack animation of any defense out there. I mean, you gotta just love that. So the Beaming Blossom would be another solid choice as well. Once again, it falls down to which ones to do first. The Beaming Blossom is going to be affected by line of sight, so it's not going to be perfect on every map that you run. However, the Beaming Blossom would be a lovely addition as well. The changes to Fusion Gear in Rifted mode, we still don't know exactly what all that is going to bring, but I'm super excited to see what it does bring, and hoping that it actually adds a bunch of replay value for the end game as well. One of the challenges in DDA is our expectations. When we play a Dungeon Defenders game, we want to play it for 1,000+ hours. Well, DDA currently doesn't really have 1,000+ hours of play unless you just really, really want to go overboard with fine-tuning your play, or fine-tuning your sets. Now, if you wanted to go through and fine-tune every defense in the game, you're going to spend several thousand hours playing Dungeon Defenders Awakened. However, to get just a good set for every defense in the game, you can really achieve that well within a few hundred hours. So definitely excited to see what's to come with the upcoming changes. As soon as we get word of what these things will be, then I'm going to be posting about it right here. But the TLDW of the video, if you're just starting out and getting fusion sets in, make sure to go with a powerhouse damaging defense first, like the Wisps, then go with some crowd control, and then start stacking in Warden defenses all the way around. So that will do it for now. Thanks a ton for watching, and I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.